You've been giving people power over you without even realizing it. Every time you over-explain your decisions, justify your choices, or defend your boundaries, you're giving away your power. But here's what nobody tells you: the moment you stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your confidence skyrockets. People start treating you differently. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you break this toxic habit, why you do it in the first place, and how to stop without guilt. This is the video that finally sets you free from the need for everyone's approval. Let's begin. Think about the last time you made a decision for yourself. Maybe you set a boundary. Maybe you said no to something. Maybe you chose to do things differently than expected. What happened next? Did you immediately launch into a long explanation? Did you try to make the other person understand your reasoning? Did you justify why you had to make that choice? Did you over-explain until they finally accepted it? If you did, you're not alone. Most people are trapped in this exhausting cycle of constant explanation and justification. We feel like we owe everyone an explanation for every decision we make. But here's the truth: you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. Your decisions are yours. Your boundaries are yours. Your choices are yours. And when you finally internalize this truth, when you stop over-explaining yourself to people who don't need or deserve an explanation, your entire life transforms. You reclaim your power. You free up mental energy. You command respect. You live authentically. You stop being controlled by other people's opinions. But this isn't easy. Because the need to explain yourself runs deep. It's rooted in childhood. In trauma. In the fear of rejection. In the desperate need to be understood and accepted. Breaking this pattern requires awareness, practice, and a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your worth. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why you over-explain, what happens when you stop, and how to actually break this habit for good. By the end, you'll understand that silence is not rude. Boundaries without explanation are valid. And your peace is more important than everyone else's understanding. Let's dive in. Part 1: Why you over-explain yourself. Before we can stop over-explaining, we need to understand why we do it. Because this habit didn't appear out of nowhere. It was formed for specific reasons. Here are the main ones. Reason number 1: childhood conditioning. For many people, over-explaining started in childhood. Maybe you had parents who demanded to know the why behind everything you did. Maybe you had to justify your feelings, your needs, your desires. If you grew up in an environment where your autonomy wasn't respected, where you always had to explain yourself to avoid punishment or criticism, that pattern became ingrained. You learned, I must explain myself to be heard. I must justify myself to be valid. I must make others understand to be accepted. And you carried that into adulthood. Reason number 2: fear of rejection. Deep down, over-explaining is often about fear. Fear that if people don't understand your choices, they'll reject you. Fear that if you don't justify yourself, they'll think badly of you. Fear that without a good enough explanation, you'll lose relationships. So you over-explain as a way to control how people perceive you. You think, if I can just make them understand, they'll accept me. If I can explain it well enough, they won't be upset. But this never works. Because people who truly respect you don't need elaborate explanations. And people who don't respect you won't accept your reasoning anyway. Reason number 3: internalized guilt. Many people, especially those who are empathetic and conscientious, carry a lot of guilt. Guilt about disappointing others. Guilt about not meeting expectations. Guilt about prioritizing themselves. Over-explaining is an attempt to alleviate this guilt. You think, if I explain why I had to do this, maybe I won't feel so guilty. Maybe they won't make me feel guilty. But guilt that requires constant explanation isn't real guilt. It's just conditioning. Reason number 4. People-pleasing tendencies. People pleasers chronically over-explain because they need everyone to be okay with their choices. They can't rest until everyone understands and approves. If you're a people pleaser, making a decision that might disappoint someone feels unbearable. So you over-explain, trying to soften the blow. Trying to make them see why you had to do it. Trying to get their blessing. But you don't need anyone's blessing to live your life. Reason number 5, low self-trust. When you don't trust your own judgment, you seek external validation constantly. You over-explain because you need others to confirm that your decision was right. You think, if I can make them understand and they agree, then I know I made the right choice. You're outsourcing your confidence to other people. But real self-trust means you stand by your decisions even when others don't understand them. Reason number 6, manipulation from others. Some people in your life have trained you to over-explain. They ask probing questions. They challenge every boundary. They make you feel like you owe them detailed explanations. And you comply because it's easier than dealing with their reaction when you don't. But this is manipulation. And the more you explain to manipulative people, the more ammunition you give them to argue with you. Reason number 7, not knowing it's an option to not explain. For some people, it simply never occurred to them that they don't have to explain everything. They've always done it. Everyone around them does it. It's the norm. But once you realize that, "I don't want to" is a complete sentence, that "no" without justification is valid, that you can make choices without a dissertation, everything changes. Understanding why you over-explain is the first step to stopping. Now let's talk about what happens when you do stop. Part 2, what happens when you stop explaining yourself. Here's where it gets interesting. When you break the habit of over-explaining, specific things happen. Some of them are challenging. Some of them are liberating. All of them are transformative. Change number 1, you reclaim your power. Every time you over-explain, you're giving away your power. You're essentially saying, "My decision is only valid if you understand and approve of it." But when you stop explaining, you're saying, "My decision is valid because I made it." Period. This shift is profound. You stop being controlled by other people's opinions. You stop needing permission to live your life. You become the ultimate authority on your own choices. People can sense this power shift. And it changes how they interact with you. Change number 2, you free up massive mental energy. Over-explaining is exhausting. Think about how much mental energy you spend crafting explanations, anticipating questions, defending your choices, and worrying about whether people understand. When you stop, all that energy is freed up. Your mind becomes quieter. You have more energy for things that actually matter. You're not constantly in your head rehearsing explanations. This mental freedom is priceless. Change number 3, people respect you more. This might surprise you, but people actually respect you more when you stop over-explaining. Here's why. When you're constantly justifying yourself, it signals insecurity. It suggests you don't trust your own judgment. It invites people to question and challenge you. But when you state your decision calmly and don't elaborate unnecessarily, it signals confidence, self-assurance, certainty. And people respond to that. They might not like your decision, but they respect it more. Change number 4, you discover who really respects your boundaries. When you stop over-explaining, you get clear data about who in your life actually respects you. People who respect you will accept your "no" without demanding a detailed explanation. They might be disappointed, but they'll honor your boundary. People who don't respect you will push back. They'll demand to know why. They'll challenge you. They'll try to make you feel guilty until you cave or explain. This is valuable information. Now you know who's safe and who's not. Change number 5, manipulators lose their power over you. Manipulative people rely on you over-explaining. Because the more you explain, the more they can argue with your reasons. The more they can poke holes in your logic. The more they can make you doubt yourself. But when you simply say, "I'm not available for that," or "that doesn't work for me," without elaborating, there's nothing for them to argue with. They'll try to bait you into explaining. Don't take the bait. Your silence is your power. Change number 6, you stop justifying your existence. Over-explaining isn't just about individual decisions. It's often about justifying your entire existence. Justifying why you need rest. Why you have feelings. Why you have preferences. Why you exist the way you do. When you stop, you're essentially saying, "I don't need to justify my humanity. I'm allowed to be human without explaining it." This is deeply liberating. Change number 7, your self-trust strengthens. Every time you make a decision and don't seek external validation through explanation, you build self-trust. You prove to yourself that your judgment is enough. That you don't need everyone's understanding to make good choices. Over time, this creates unshakable confidence. Change number 8, you become less anxious. So much social anxiety comes from the fear of being misunderstood or judged. When you're constantly worried about explaining yourself well enough, anxiety is inevitable. But when you accept that some people won't understand and that's okay, the anxiety lessens. You're not responsible for managing everyone's perception of you. Change number 9, you live more authentically. When you don't have to justify every choice, you make choices that are actually true to you. You stop filtering your decisions through, "Will I be able to explain this?" and start filtering them through, "Is this right for me?" This leads to a more authentic life. Change number 10, some relationships end, and that's good. Here's the hard truth. Some relationships are built on you being compliant and over-explaining. When you stop, those relationships fall apart. This is painful but necessary. Relationships that require you to constantly justify your existence aren't real relationships. They're power dynamics. Letting them go makes space for healthier connections. Change number 11, you set the tone for how people treat you. When you stop over-explaining, you teach people how to treat you. You establish that you're not someone who can be guilt, manipulated, or controlled. New people who enter your life will respect your boundaries from the start. Old people will either adapt or leave. Change number 12, you experience true freedom. The ultimate result of stopping over-explanation is freedom. Freedom from the exhausting need to be understood by everyone. Freedom from the prison of people-pleasing. Freedom to live life on your own terms. This freedom is what you've been searching for all along. Part 3, how to stop explaining yourself. Now let's get practical. How do you actually break this habit? Here's the roadmap. Step 1. Recognize when you're over-explaining. Awareness is the first step. Start noticing when you're doing it. Pay attention to situations where you launch into lengthy explanations. Ask yourself, did this person actually ask for an explanation? Or am I volunteering one? Often, you'll realize you're explaining when no one even questioned you. Step 2. Identify your triggers. Notice which situations and which people trigger your need to over-explain. Is it with family? Authority figures? Certain friends? Romantic partners? Identifying triggers helps you prepare. When you know you're entering a triggering situation, you can be more mindful. Step 3. Practice short responses. Start training yourself to give shorter answers. When you set a boundary, practice saying, "That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. I've decided to do it differently. No, thank you. I prefer not to." Then stop talking. Resist the urge to add "because." Just let the statement stand. Step 4. Sit with the discomfort. When you first stop over-explaining, it feels wildly uncomfortable. There's silence. There's tension. There's the other person's possible disapproval. Your instinct will be to fill that silence with explanation. Don't. Sit with the discomfort. Let the awkwardness exist. It won't kill you. The discomfort is just your nervous system adjusting to a new way of being. It gets easier. Step 5, remember, confusion is not your emergency. If someone doesn't understand your decision, that's their problem, not yours. Their confusion is not your emergency to fix. You can make a choice and let them sit with not understanding it. Their discomfort with ambiguity is not your responsibility. Step 6, prepare for pushback. When you stop over-explaining, people who are used to you complying will push back. They'll ask, but why? They'll demand more information. They'll act confused or hurt. Prepare your response in advance. I understand you want more information, but I'm comfortable with my decision. Then change the subject or end the conversation. Step 7, distinguish between explanation and communication. There's a difference between healthy communication and over-explaining. Healthy communication: I won't be attending the party because I need rest this weekend. Over-explaining: I won't be attending because I've been so stressed lately and I haven't been sleeping well and my therapist said I need to prioritize self-care and I just feel like I need to stay home and recharge and I hope you understand and I'm really sorry and maybe I can come to the next one and... See the difference? Healthy communication is clear and sufficient. Over-explaining is desperate and exhausting. Step 8, work on your self-worth. The deeper work is addressing why you feel you need everyone's approval. Work with a therapist. Do inner child healing. Build your self-esteem. When you truly believe you're worthy regardless of others' opinions, the need to over-explain dissolves naturally. Step 9, surround yourself with people who respect boundaries. Make it a point to spend more time with people who accept your no gracefully. Who don't interrogate your decisions. Who trust that you know what's best for you. The more you experience respectful relationships, the less you'll tolerate disrespectful ones. Step 10, practice with low-stakes situations. Start practicing in situations that don't matter much. The barista asks why you want almond milk instead of regular milk. Just say, I prefer it, instead of launching into your entire dietary philosophy. Practice in small ways, and it becomes easier in bigger situations. Step 11, remember your why. When you're tempted to over-explain, remember why you're breaking this habit. You're doing this to reclaim your power. Protect your energy. Build self-respect. Live authentically. Free yourself from people-pleasing. Your why will keep you committed when it gets hard. Step 12, celebrate your progress. Every time you successfully don't over-explain, acknowledge it. Celebrate it. You're breaking a lifelong pattern. That's huge. The more you celebrate small wins, the more motivated you'll be to continue. Part 4, scripts for common situations. Let's get really practical. Here are specific scripts for common situations where you're tempted to over-explain. Situation 1, someone asks why you're setting a boundary. Them, why can't you help me move on Saturday? Instead of over-explaining, I have other commitments that day. If they push, I'm not available. I hope you find someone who is. Situation 2, someone questions your life choices. Them, why aren't you dating anyone? Instead of over-explaining, I'm happy with my life as it is. If they push, I appreciate your concern, but I'm good. Situation 3, someone challenges your no. Them, but why can't you just do this one thing for me? Instead of over-explaining, because I said no. My answer stands. If they push, I've already given you my answer. Situation 4. Someone acts hurt by your boundary. Them, I can't believe you're not coming. I thought we were close. Instead of over-explaining, I care about you, and my decision stands. If they push, I'm not going to explain further. Let's talk about something else. Situation 5. Family demands explanation for your choices. Them, why would you make that decision? That doesn't make sense. Instead of over-explaining, it makes sense to me, and that's what matters. If they push, I'm not seeking approval, just sharing my decision. Situation 6. Your boss questions your boundary. Them, why can't you work this weekend? Instead of over-explaining, I have personal commitments I can't move. If they push, I'm not available. Is there another solution we can explore? Situation 7. Friend interrogates your new lifestyle change. Them, why are you suddenly acting different? Instead of over-explaining, I'm growing and changing. That's natural. If they push, I don't need to justify my growth to anyone. The pattern here is simple, short, firm, calm responses. No justification. No apology. No elaborate backstory. Just clear communication of your decision. Part 5. The spiritual freedom of not explaining. Let me leave you with the deeper, spiritual truth about why stopping over-explanation is so powerful. When you constantly explain yourself, you're living from your ego. Your ego needs to be understood, validated, approved of. It's fragile and dependent on external feedback. But when you stop explaining, you're living from your higher self. Your higher self knows its worth is inherent. It doesn't need to convince anyone of anything. It simply is. This shift from ego to higher self is a spiritual evolution. It's you stepping into your power as a sovereign being. You're no longer a child seeking approval. You're an adult who trusts their own judgment. This doesn't mean you become cold or uncommunicative. It means you communicate from a place of self-assuredness rather than desperation. You share information because you choose to, not because you feel you must. There's a profound peace that comes with this. The peace of knowing that you're enough. That your decisions are valid. That you don't owe anyone your inner reasoning. You become untouchable in the best way. Not because you're closed off, but because you're centered. Grounded. Secure. And from this place of security, your relationships actually improve. Because people can finally know the real you instead of the performing, explaining, people-pleasing version. This is the freedom you've been seeking. Conclusion and call to action. So here's my final question for you. Are you ready to stop giving away your power through constant explanation? Are you ready to reclaim your energy and your authority over your own life? Or are you going to keep exhausting yourself trying to make everyone understand and approve of your every decision? The choice is yours. But you're here at the end of this video, which tells me something. You're tired. Tired of explaining. Tired of justifying. Tired of needing everyone's approval. You're ready to step into a new way of being. A way where your word is enough. Where your decision is final. Where your boundary needs no justification. Here's what I want you to do starting today. Pick one person or one situation where you typically over-explain. Just one. And the next time it comes up, practice giving a short, clear response without elaboration. Notice what happens. Notice how it feels. Notice the urge to explain and choose not to give into it. Then come back to this video and drop a comment saying, "I stopped explaining, so I know you're committed to this transformation." Share this video with someone who needs permission to stop justifying their existence. Someone who's exhausted from constant explanation. Someone who needs to reclaim their power. Subscribe to this channel because we're building a community of people who refuse to shrink themselves for others' comfort. People who protect their energy fiercely. People who live authentically. Remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. Your boundaries without explanation are completely valid. Your no is a complete sentence. Your peace is more important than everyone's understanding. Stop explaining. Start living. Your power returns when you stop giving it away through over-explanation. The freedom you're looking for exists on the other side of over-explanation. Go claim it. I'll see you in the next video.